Welcome back everyone. I'm Nil Rai from 21st Century Corporation, and in this video we'll be setting up a Python development environment. Now if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Now in the previous video we have discussed about what is a language, then we came to know what is a programming language, its importance, its features, but the main thing we haven't discussed is how to set up an environment, programming environment. Now we were discussing Python, its features and history, so we will be setting a Python development environment. But at any moment you haven't seen the previous video, click on the I button or there will be a link in the description. Click on that, you will get to know it. So before setting up a Python development environment, you should know what is an environment. So an environment is a place where you work at something. Now there are two types of environments. One is a physical environment like your school or playground where you play with your friends, or in a school where you study something. The other one is a virtual environment. So in a virtual environment we write some code to develop a product, to solve some problems like that. So to develop a product or to write some code you need an environment. Now what are the requirements of an environment or a virtual environment? The requirements are you need an mediator or translator. Now what the mediator does we have discussed earlier. So we need an interpreter. Why? Because in the previous video I have said that Python is an interpreted language, so we need an interpreter. So what an interpreter does is it converts your code, which is a source code, to a low level language or the machine code. Now to download the interpreter or the Python interpreter, just a joke, make sure that you have internet. So let me turn on my hotspot because I'm recording on my mobile. So after you have internet, go to Google and type Python download. Okay, now the first link will be from python.org download Python. Just open it in a new tab. There will be something like this, download Python and then the version. So the latest version is 3.x.x and it's 3.9.5, but you can download some old versions such as 3.8 or 3.7. You can download this. I will recommend if you are in Windows 7 and you don't have SP update, just download 3.7.6. But if in Windows 8.1 with the latest updates, go for 3.9.5 or a bit lower than that. I have downloaded 3.9.4, so I will be going for 3.9.4. So let me download. Okay, it will be like this. I will be cancelling it, but don't cancel. You have to download. I have downloaded, so I will not be downloading now. So let me close it and just go to the folder where you have downloaded the Python interpreter. Now it took a bit time for me because I have Python pre-installed in my system. I am using Windows. I have downloaded earlier because for some projects I was using it, but I have to uninstall Python and I will be installing Python to demonstrate how to do it. So let me pause and show you my installation. So once you double click on the Python installer, it would be like this: install Python 3.9.4, the 64-bit version. If you're on 32-bit, download the 32-bit version. So select install now. But before that, the most important thing is to add Python 3.9 to path. If you don't click it, you have to add manually, but if you have clicked it, it would be done automatically. Okay, so you can click here, but I'll be customizing my installation. Click next, then click install for all users. Now what it does, if you're on a network, it won't install for all users. Now this will install for each and every user. Now you can customize your installation folder. I'll be installing in D drive. I don't want to give any pressure to my C drive, so let me check. I have 539. Okay, so if you don't have, click this make new folder and there write Python 39. Now I have done it, so click OK. After that, click install and just wait for it. Oh, there will be a user account control. Click yes, and it's done. Okay, so my setup was successful, and Python 3.9.4 was has installed successfully. But at any point of time there was any sort of problem, please feel free to write me in the comment section, and I will definitely solve your problem. Now if you have no problem, click close and search for IDLE. Now if you don't know what is the full form of IDLE, it's Python's development and learning environment. So just press Windows plus S key and write Python. Now there would be something like this: IDLE Python 3.9 64-bit. I don't know why the icons are not showing, but still click on it. Okay, so it would be something like this. It would be like a shell, and then we would be writing a first Python program. Now if you don't know anything about Python, it doesn't matter, because writing a Python program is very simple. Just give a quotation mark, whether it is single quotation or double quotation, give it. We will be learning the syntax of Python later, not now. Just a hello world program. So hello world, done, press enter, it's done. So simple, right? Now another thing, you can give double quote, and if you give Python, and then it is giving the same result. But have you noticed something irregular or something very special? Yeah, that quotation mark, the single quotation mark. If you don't want the single quotation mark every time when you write a program, just give print, then a parenthesis, then a quotation mark, and if you write Python, close it, and then if you print, there are no quotation marks. But do you think this environment is good for developing environment? Not actually, right? Because writing in a shell is not that good. So for that reason, we need to download some text editor or an IDE. Now if you don't know the full form of IDE, it's integrated development environment. Okay, now I will be closing it. So you can use Notepad, but I don't recommend you for developing large projects, or for large projects don't use Notepad or Notepad++. You can use VS Code or PyCharm. So let me show you. Okay, now in Google type PyCharm and then click download. It would be like this, PyCharm download. The first link will be from JetBrains, download PyCharm. Now if you click on download PyCharm in a new tab, so it would be taking some time. My internet is very fast, so just close these things. Okay, the first one will be from download PyCharm for Windows. It automatically detects, see, section equal to Windows, so it detects that I am using a Windows computer or PC. So there will be two versions. If on Mac OS, there would be something like this, or Linux, it would be like this. But if on Windows, there will be two versions. The first one is a professional version, the second one is community version. But if you notice, there's something called free trial. Okay, so you have to pay for this professional version. But if you are new to Python, go for the community version. But if you know many things about Python, if you want to make websites, go for this professional version if you are a pro. But if you are a complete beginner, don't waste your money, go with the community, learn Python, then buy professional. I'm not telling not to buy professional, it's very good, but buy a bit later, after you know Python, after you write your own Python code, after you write your own Python website, then buy this professional version. Okay, so let me show you some features of this PyCharm as whole. Okay, so the features of Python for both professional and that community version. So for the professional version, the features are both the version. The features are intelligent Python editor, so it will give code completion. Then there's a graphical debugger and test runner. Then there are some navigation and refactorings. Then there are code inspections. Then there's VCS support. Okay, but some things that are not there in this community edition is this: scientific tools. Okay, then web development. If you want to develop websites, some web frameworks for Python like Django, Flask. You can make websites in PyCharm community edition, but some database and SQL support will not be there. Some Python profile will not be there. So if you are a pro in Python, download this. But if you are a complete beginner, you are learning Python from scratch, download the exe file, which is open source, this community edition. Okay, after you have downloaded, just double click on installer. So let me close my internet. Once you double click on the PyCharm installer, it would be something like this. Click on next, then choose the place where you want to place your or store your PyCharm community edition setup. So I will put in the D drive. So D and OK. Oh no, it's D and OK. So D PyCharm community edition done. Just click next. 64-bit launcher, add open folder as project .py extension. Click next, click install, and just wait for some time. Okay, now after it's completely installed, don't click this run PyCharm community edition, click finish, and then but you can do this, I'm doing for my own benefit. So just double click it and just wait. So it has taken much time, but it has given this JetBrains privacy policy. You have to confirm it. Click continue. The interface would be something like this. I know it's pretty smart. Now you have to choose a UI theme. I will be going for the light theme. Then skip remaining and set defaults. It would be loading PyCharm. So I've downloaded 2020.2. You can download 2021, but just to be on the safe side, I've downloaded 2020.2. Now it is taking much time. Okay, wait, let me close this task manager. Yeah, it has done. Now you have to create a new project. Click on new, then don't click here this new environment, but not now. First you have to make a new project. I will be making D. So D, then the new project name, which is, let me give program coding. Okay, so it's program coding. Now after giving the name, don't click here. Okay, and also just close this, create dot main via welcome script, just uncheck it. After that, click here this existing interpreter. Okay, it would be saying no interpreter. Just this shift plus enter, you can press shift plus enter, or you can click here. It would be showing something like this. Click on system interpreter and then click OK. So it has detected that we are using Python 3.9. Click create. Now just maximize it. The interface would be something like this. Okay, don't show tips, it's very disturbing. And now just wait for the scanning files to index, but I will create a new Python file. Just give main.py. Okay, don't have to give, just type main, press enter, done. Now it would be taking some time. Just close it. It is indexing, so give it some time. I will be pausing my video. Now after you have opened PyCharm, all the processes are done. It would give some tick mark like this, and no process will be showing over here. So write your first Python program which I have written in the IDLE, which is print. After that there would be showing some code completion. Press enter. It has auto completed your brackets and the words left over. Now give double quotation. It has also completed double quotation marks. Now just say hello. After it's done, the two things you can do: first run from here, or just right click and run main. Now after it's done, it would give something like this: hello. Now but you have noticed that PyCharm has taken 700 MBs and much RAM it would be taking. So instead of using PyCharm, you can use a far lightweight IDE as well as an editor. So that is Visual Studio Code. Now just close PyCharm, turn on your internet, and then go to Google and search for Visual Studio Code. Okay, don't search for Visual Studio, because Visual Studio is a far more heavier software than PyCharm. You can make apps or games in Python using Visual Studio. Also you can make some apps or games in C, C++ or C# in Visual Studio. So it's an all-purpose IDE, but that's the disadvantage. It takes much of your system resources, or it consumes much of your system resources. So for that reason Microsoft, it's developed by Microsoft, so for that reason Microsoft has developed a lightweight text editor which is Visual Studio Code. So just open it in a new tab. It would be consuming much low system resources, and it's cross platform. You can run it in Windows, Linux and Mac. In the other hand, Visual Studio you can run only in Windows and Mac, but it's recommended use Windows. So but for Visual Studio Code you can use in any platform. So just click on this 64-bit installer, and that's done. I have installed Visual Studio Code, so I will be turning off my internet now, and then go to installation folder or the place where I've downloaded Visual Studio Code. Now once you double click on the downloaded file, it would be showing something like this. Click on run, and then just wait for some time. It would be showing something like this. Click accept, click next, then create a desktop icon, but by default it should be like this: create a desktop icon, add open with code, and add open with code action. Both this should be checked. Now after you click next, click install. Now what that feature does is, if you right click, it will be showing something like this: open with code. So for that reason use open with code action. Now if you click install, it would be installing. I have installed, so I will not be installing. I will yes, but for you click install, it would be done. Then open Visual Studio Code. But at this moment of time, if I've got any sort of problem with PyCharm or even Visual Studio Code, please feel free to write me in the comments section, and I will try to solve your problem. Now after it opens, it should show, it will not be showing something like this. So I've just created a folder named Python, and it would be showing something like this: new file, new folder, this new file, this new folder, this is refresh, and this is just to collapse this folders explorer. So I have created a folder. Just click on this icon and type the name for your file. So I will be giving main.py. Just press enter. Now if you're wondering how I get this icon, just open extensions and just install this extension VS Code icons. Now how you can install extensions, again turn on your hotspot if you are using on mobile, and just wait, and then search for VS Code icon. So I will just search for VS Code icons. So it will take some time. Just click here. It would be showing something like this, icons for the Visual Studio Code. There would be a button called install. Click install, then it would be installing and give you all these icons. Now this goes same for Python like this. If you don't have this, don't worry, just type Python and press enter. This extension is developed by Microsoft. Go and again there will be install. I have installed this, so click install and it would be done. After that there would be another extension called Code Runner. Okay, so what it does, it runs your C, C++, Java, JavaScript, PHP, and there are many languages. There is also Python. So just install it. It's a very short or a very small extension. Just install it. After that, just minimize it. Then it would be showing something like this. This icon, run icon, would be showing. So first you have to write a Python code. So for that, write print code completion it is giving, then give hello world. Now click on the run button, run code. Now it is running in terminal, but by default it would be running in a platform or at a means. Let me show you. If you go to settings, code runner, then if you see something, yes, run in terminal, just uncheck it and then you run it, run code, it would be running over here. And this is not that good. It would be running in this output tab, okay, not in the terminal tab, in the output tab. Now the disadvantage in this output tab is that it doesn't allows you to give some input because it's a read only text editor. Let me show you. So if I write something, see, it is telling that cannot edit in read only editor. So for that reason, in settings, give a tick mark over here. Also give a tick mark for this, save all files before run and save file before run. After that, also clear previous output. That's done. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. And if you want to keep me motivated, then hit the like button. Also, if you get any sort of valuable knowledge from my videos, then you can share it to your friends or relatives. And if you want to share your experiences or your knowledge about programming or about technology, then it is very simple. Just follow me at my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/21stcentury2021.